What's up, guys? Welcome back to Mill. My name is Bill. This is Pirate Solutions Forestry. In our ongoing effort to test everything on the face of the planet, we're continuing today. Sorry I haven't been milling, but I've been doing a billion other things. It's really busy down here on Cape Cod this time of the year. One of our dear friends just showed up and said hi. They're in from London with her new boyfriend, and I'm getting it milling the timber frame order here, finishing up the base. I've got a couple of sill plates to do, 12-foot sill plates. So we're going to video that today while we're testing stuff. So what are we testing? For Norwood, we're testing the new roller guide system still, and we're testing the Stellicut bands. If you don't know anything about Stellicut bands, you can look them up. It sounds just like it's written. I mean, it's written just like it sounds. Stellicut has a stellite insert every third tooth that's as wide as the kerf, which is a little bit different than carbide. Not much different, but a little bit different. It's very, very hard. The tooth is not set, but the insert is as wide as the entire kerf. Because it's only every third tooth, it keeps the cost down on the bands, and the bands run about $40. And it's supposed to increase your band life about 30%, which I've seen as much as even 50%, to be honest with you. It does not like cutting metal. So don't think that it's a substitute for a carbide going through metal. It's not. My experience has been it knocks teeth off. But it is very, very stable in the cut and cuts very, very flat, which is what I like about it. Also, we're testing, let's see here, bring you over here. See, I got a 12-foot 6 log up on the mill. We are testing Mechanix prototype gloves. They sent them to me to test with them and give them some feedback. So you can see they're Mechanix gloves. You won't find these on the shelf anywhere. So far, these have held up incredible, absolutely incredible. When they first contacted me and said, "Hey, would you test these for us?" I'm like, I've tried everything. These have held up unbelievable. I don't have a single hole in them so far. You get this grippy stuff on the palm. They're all leather. I don't get poked through them. I've done a little of everything with them, from repairing chainsaws and getting oil all over them, to cutting firewood and throwing logs around, to milling, handling sawmill bands and everything. This particular pair has held up phenomenal. I do have another pair to test also. I'm not going to show you the prototype number on them because it's not going to make any sense to you. But we're going to see. I'm pretty excited about these. And also, I was in to buy some Dawn dish soap and pine sol today because I just ran out of pine sol. You can see my empty pine sol jug, just so you don't think I'm screwing with you. And this Panallen or Pine Allen Fresh Pine Multi-Purpose Cleaner was significantly less money at Home Depot. And I also, the Ajax versus the Dawn dish soap was significantly less money. So I'm going to try these for a little while on the sawmill in the water to see how it takes off pitch. Of course, I am sawing pine today, so we will get a look at it. I did debark this log. What I need, if I go to my cut list here, is I need 2 sill plates, 2 12-footers right here. And it says 8 by 8, but they're 8 by 7 3/8. And that will finish all the material for the base of the, God bless it, stay there. Stop blowing it, Wayne. That'll finish all the material for the base of the timber frame. So he can put his base in. They're getting ready to pour piers and do all his joinery on his base while I'm working on the top section. And I've got a couple of 18-foot logs ready to go for these 2 big 18-foot top plates here. and I'm going to cut those maybe tomorrow or the next day. And I'm going to do that on video and show you how to cut an 18 footer on a mill that will only cut 16/7. At least one of the ways. There are several different ways to do it. Everything from just straight chainsaw milling it, which I could, because I can chainsaw mill out to like 24 with my setup, to one way is to cut with the taper and have your taper cut out so that you can flip it over and push your log back and then cut, push it back, finish the cut, flip it, cut, push it back, finish the cut. You can do it that way. Another way would be to make your top cut, cut the chunk off, and then just simply chainsaw off the end so it doesn't interfere, depending on how much longer you're going. If you're going to go like 30 feet, that wouldn't work. But if you're going to go like 20, like I am, to 18, there's only going to be a chunk, a couple of feet sticking off, 1.5 feet past the end bunk. Well, 2 feet past the end bunk. So you could just finish it with a chainsaw and then true that cut later. Or I'm going to show you a different method where you make a top cut, you cut that chunk off, and then you stick like a 2x12 on there and screw it on, flip it all the way over on the 2x12. Then you can cut, push it back, finish it. You can flip it on its side, flip it all the way over, finish that cut. You can flip it on its side, you make a cut it off, put your board on, flip it over, make a full cut by pushing it, and then finish the other side. So there's a lot of different ways you can do it. You could set up a chainsaw mill jig to finish the cut with blocks on it and a board across the top, and then just some sort of outfeed support at the end to where you cut your chunk off, set your jig on, put your chainsaw mill in there, secure it down, finish your cut. You can do it that way. The most important part is that you have to have a reference surface when you push it. So you can't just cut your chunk off and then push it down, because you can't keep your reference surface from tilting. So you need something to keep you from tilting. So I'm going to show you how to do that, or at least the way that I'm going to do it. And for now, we're going to get on to milling this one into 8x7 3/8. The way that I think this is going to go, I would love to say that I can get both of them out of this. It's almost 20 inches side to side, which would give me somewhere around a 14-inch cant, where in theory I need 14 7/8 in one direction and 8 in the other. So if I could get it to 14 7/8, even with a little bit of wane on it, then I can cut both timbers out of this one log. I am using a 12'6" log instead of cutting a 14-footer down. I could always grab a 14-foot small one and mill just 2 of them really quick, but trying to utilize the length of the log the best I can here. So this one just happened to be 12'6". I have another 12'6" sitting up top over there in a pile in the woods. That'll be next, and we're going to get to going on this one. So I got Danny with me. He's in the truck. I don't know why. But we're going to start milling on this, and then eventually I am going to edge through and mill out that pile too. Maybe tomorrow, or I don't know. Depends on, it's a nice day today, so it depends on how the heat goes today. But for now, we're going to get to taking the top off this thing. I am going to whittle this down kind of slow, because I'm going to try as much as I can to possibly get to a 14 7/8 cant. So right where my finger is right here is 14 7/8 from the end of the tape. There is a very, very real possibility that I could pull this off. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and just draw it out quick on the end here, just so that I have some sort of reference. And that would just make it so that I could look at it while I'm milling and possibly decide on exactly what I'm going to do. So let's just take it top to bottom here. So it's 18 top to bottom right here. So I'm going to come up 9. 9 is pretty much the pith. It's just below the pith. I'm going to go ahead and mark myself a line, a level, if I can see my level. Mark myself a level line across here. I got to come down just a little bit for my crayon. So I'll mark myself a level line across here. And then I can come up 4. So there's 18, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. It's right here. And then come down 8. So throw myself on 10. Come down to 18 is right here. Throw myself a level line there. Throw myself a level line here. So that's like 8 inches wide. I'll take the center the other way. So it's 19 this way. It's going to be 9.5. Go ahead and throw myself up a plumb line. I'm just going to use these as references as I'm cutting. And then I can come over 4. No, I need to come over 8. So that's 18 there. And that's 2 there. That would give me just a teeny bit extra room. And then drop myself a plumb line down right there. I can hold it still. I'm out of red crayons. I got some blue ones, but rather than go look at one, I just grabbed a black one, of course. So this gives me a basic reference point of what I need to get to a 16 by 8 inch cant, which would give me a little bit of leeway. Double check it. Yeah, 16. So this would give me a little bit of leeway to, and that's 19 that way and 18 that way. So this is the smart way to do it because I need my 16 in this dimension. So when I take this side off, I'll take it off here. I'll take it off here. I'll take a top off as low as I can and just keep in reference. I don't have to worry about these 2 lines so much other than keeping them in the center. I got to worry more about this, but I can come down as much as, like I said, 14 and 7/8. So 7.5 is 15. So I could come over an inch, a half inch from these lines also as a drop dead point, and then get my 2 7 5/8 by 8 pieces out of it. So I'm just going to use that as kind of a reference as I'm working. My top cut, I'm just going to try to clean up the top. I will not go anywhere near that line. Then flip it over, clean it up, do the sides, and try to get as close to these lines as I can. Then we'll measure it, and we'll see what we have left, and we'll see how the wane's going to work out. And we can leave some wane on these. They don't have to be perfectly clean. They just have to be solid structural timber. So let's see how it goes. I know that I want to make my top cut somewhere around 18-ish, right around there. And we will see how it cuts out. Seems like every time I cut a log, it's always close on size. I can't figure it out. If I just cut more than one log, I'd never have to care, and you make all the waste in the world and don't give a shit. So we're going to take this top cut at 18, flip it all the way over, just continue on with it. Since I got it debarked, it's going to be able to flip really easy. All right, let's take it off. So I am going to come down 1 inch. Just try to clean this top up a little bit. There is a fracture on this log on the bottom. I tried to put it on the top, but it did not sit well. So I put it on the bottom. So I'm just going to drop to 17, so it's actually 1 7/8 inches. And I realize this is not cleaned up enough to do what I'm trying to do, but I want to sneak up on the dimension and see what side I have to take off to see if I can save 2 out of this. I doubt I'll be able to, but we will try our best. So we'll keep you on for the full ride. We'll go ahead and flip it over. Beautiful pine smell. The outside of this log, it's been sitting up in a pile for quite a while. The outside of this log is pretty wet. The inside is bone dry. So we'll throw this into man mode. I have my stops at 7, so in theory I'll never hit them. I will eventually probably slide this log down. It's got a bunch of bumps on it and stuff like that, so I did not want to slide it down yet. I needed it to be the way it was because of a little flare on that end. I want to keep that flare off the bunk. I will slide this log down onto this bunk at some point. So right now we'll clean the top side up. Probably can just get away with 1 log dog here. When you're on your round side, don't use 1 log dog. So this cut's going to be around 15-ish. So you can see that I could not make the dimension in this dimension. So I'm already cutting at 15 now. So, and that's probably not going to clean the whole top up. So, you know, this is probably not going to be able to be done, but we're going to try. Hopefully I have enough fuel. And I got my log dog in the way. The other way I was cutting horns up. I got a nice big flat spot on this side now. So far, the stuff that I put in my water is keeping my band perfectly clean. Band is like brand new right now. It's perfectly clean, but we'll test that as we go. So we'll get it flipped on our side here. Get her squared up and take the minimum amount off the sides that we can, and then we'll kind of see where we get to and what we can take off and what we can't. Use my log dog assist to hold it in place for me. Leave that there. Gonna go a lot more. Still gonna go more. Almost there. Perfectly square right now. Just don't want it to move. Since it's on a round, I use all 3 stops. I'll leave the log dog assist in there for now. This cut's a problem. I might have to pick this end up. This cut's a problem. I'm at 17 there. I'm way high here. Yeah. So I think what I'm going to do, because the other side is straighter, I'm going to flip it all the way over. If I don't flip it all the way over right now, I'd have to lift that side up a lot. And rather than doing that, I'm just going to roll the log all the way over. That hopefully will give me a better surface to work off of than what I got right now. Right now, this end's way higher than that end. So what we'll do is we'll just flip it all the way over, 180 degrees. Hopefully, this side will look a little bit better. Let me just look at, all right, yeah, so now it's much, much flatter. Right now it's kind of horns up. So I'll just square it up and we will re-dog it and do it again. Gotta go a little bit more. Oh, went too far, of course. My log dog assist, dog it in down low. Pull back against it, it'll kick the bottom over. There we go. Now I should be able to roll it up against the stops. Almost there. Nope. Too far again, just a hair. Let's see if I can make this settle. See if I can just, let me just try to do this one more time. Going against my log dog assist, get it to roll backwards. This is a crucial cut. You got to take your time and get this cut squared up. Even if your stops are, oh, it's almost perfect right there. Even if your stops are perfect 90 degrees, still need to pay attention to this cut. To stay square. Let's just make sure after I put that one dog in that I'm still square. Yep, that's good. Okay, now let's see what we got here. Looks a lot better. So right now I am 19 and a half high, 18 to my cut line right there that I don't want to go below. And this side, man, it's going to be close. 18 is pretty much a skim cut. So we're going to skim it at 18 and take it there and see what happens. So obviously it did not clean up. I do have a 1/2 inch I could drop right now and get it cleaned up. The question is whether I want to do that or whether I want to cut the other side first and then I can maybe adjust. Maybe I don't have to come up to the line on the other side. So I think that's what we're going to do. And then we'll see where we end up. So we'll get our mill back and we'll flip it over. Probably scoot this log down maybe. Let's see. Get her flipped all the way over. We'll take it clean on the other side. Hopefully we end up a 1/2 inch over the line on the other side, and then we can take 1 inch off this side. And then we can take a ton off here to get rid of a lot of this wane off both sides. So I would say I'm optimistic right now that we can pull this off. I got to find a place where I can get my cant hook all the way down around the, there we go. Nope. So let's just go like this. Let's make sure that we're on the bunks. Looks okay right now. I'm going to take the top off of this, and then I'm probably going to try and scoot this log down. So my cut's at 16 here. Should probably take it off at 16. That doesn't give me any extra room. See what 17 looks like. I'm going to take it at 17 first. Yeah, I'm still optimistic. And in this dimension, I need 8 inches wide. I'm going to take another 1/2 inch off it, so I'm going to come down to 16.5. Take a sliver cut off it, see if I can get to my 8 inches wide. Really close to 8 inches wide. I'm going to throw it on its side, take a board out of the side. Looking at the wane, I'm really close here on my 8 inches all the way down. So I do not have as much, I have less wane on this side than I do on this side. This side needs to come down. I'm showing 3 inches here. I still have a little room this way to work with. Do we have any 2x material on his list? I'm going to shut the mill off. So I am going to try to start enjoying this process more than I do. So we're going to go over, we're going to look at the list and see if there's any 2x material on there, because I can take a 2-inch chunk off the side right there, get rid of 90% of that wane. I have my 8 inches on the top all the way down on this side, and I still have some room to cut it on the other side. So any 4-inch material. I have 3x5 collar ties, but those are almost done. So then it's just 4-inch stuff. There's nothing else there to take out. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a straight 2-inch slab out of that. And I'll end up turning into like 2x4s or something, 2x6s. So I'm going to flip it on its side, take a 2-inch chunk out, and then we're going to try to set our width with whatever makes sense on the other side, which we need to get to 14 7/8. Then I'll flip it again, set myself at 8, and then we just have to cut it in half. So I have no dogs on it. Okay. I would like to slide this thing down. It doesn't need it right now. Let's take the 2 inches off it, and then we'll do it. Well, let me try it. Let's see if we can try it. You get the mill out of the way. See if I can slide the PV underneath it. See if I can push it down a couple of inches. It would solve a little bit of a problem if I can do it without doing it with the machine. You can't see me, can you? Oh, did move. Try not to break my collarbone. Did move. It didn't go all the way, I don't think. Oh, it's just touching it. All right, I am going to grab it with the machine and just shove it. All right, so now that everything I cut now will be on true dimension. So we're going to take 2 inches out of this top, which should be at, it's 15 1/4, so 13 1/4, still a little high. How many inches do I have here? I have 3. Might just go ahead and take a 3-inch thing off. This wouldn't be a very good collar tie. I think I'll take an inch and then take a 2. That'll clean up a bunch of this. Give me a really good 2-inch piece. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm at what, 15, and I'm at 15 inches down here. So that was sagging. So this will be a good truing cut. So we're going to go to 14 and then 12. Yeah, 14 inches first. Cut a 1-inch piece off. That's going to be a little tapered. Actually 7/8 inch piece. Oh, let me get this over. All right, rock and roll. All right, now I'm going to go up 2 cranks, go back, drop it to 12. For 2x4s, or 2x6s, or 2x8s. Get these pieces off. I should be right at my cut line. Yeah, I'm right at my cut line that I wanted. I'm going to put this one up on the sawhorses. Hopefully you guys can see me. This one's kind of heavy. It's a little easier to get off the sawhorses down onto the mill. When I do the 18-footer, and I'll have to push it, I won't be able to have the sawhorses there. Need to have access with a bobcat on that side. So to show you where I'm at, hopefully you can see my black lines there. I have to flip this up. I almost have no weight on this side. I do have some weight on this side. I'm going to skim cut that down a little bit, flip it over, cut it to 8, flip it up again, and set myself at my 14. Just take a look at my wane. Yeah, I still got quite a bit down there. So we want to get rid of as much of that wane as we possibly can. So I want to skim cut this side and then cut it to 14 7/8 final, and then just cut it in half. So we're going to flip it up, skim cut this side, flip it over, cut it to 8, and then flip it one more time and cut it to 14 7/8. Then we can just rip it in half, and that should be 7 3/8 by 8. Back you up right here. At least that's the hope. So if I can stay away from, on this top cut here, if I can clean this up and stay away from my 14 7/8, that'll be great. This side's got a ton of weight on it. Okay. And my height right now is, yeah, I'm at 16 3/4 still. So I have quite a ways I can go here. I can take a good solid inch off it right now. Let's make sure my dimension's the same. It probably won't be just because I put it up on the bottom. Pretty damn close though. I'm at 16.5 here, so I'm going to come to 15.5 maybe. 15.5, then flip it and cut it. Yeah, drop to 15.5. And we'll roll it on its side and get it to 8 inches. How much do I have here? I'm just over 12. So I can take some 4-inch chunk out of here, which is going to, I think, work for something. 4x5 wall girts. So yeah, so I'm going to take a 4-inch chunk out of the side, and then I can make a wall girt out of it. That's going to get rid of most of the weight on this log. I want to drop my stops just a hair, just so I feel comfortable. I'm at 7 inches, but I think I'd feel more comfortable at 6. Actually, if I drop them, yeah, no, that should be fine. I'm never going below that. So, what is my height here? It's perfect. I'm at 12 1/8, so it's perfect. I can take a 4-inch chunk. I'll go right to 8 inches, take it off. So this is going to end up being 4x5. We'll get this off our mill, see what our wane looks like. Try to come off the mill this side with this one. Put this back up with the machine. Oh. Drop it right on top of my PV, stick my PV in the ground. So let's see what we got for wane. I have a little bit of wane on this side. And a little bit of wane on that side. It should be 8 inches thick. Exactly 8 inches thick. We've got to go to 14 and 7/8 and see where the wane's worse. Wane on this side is not that bad. It's mostly free. Wane on this side is a teeny little bit worse. I think we'll clean this side up. It's not that bad. My height right now is 15 and a half. I'm just going to come to 14 7/8 and then we'll cut it in half. So I need 7 3/8 and 7 3/8 is 14 3/4 plus an eighth for the kerf. So I'm coming to 14 7/8. I'll take it off right there. We're going to be using this piece to cover up these beams. Now we can just drop down to 7 3/8 and cut it right in half. And I think we're good to go. And I will just measure it quick when I do it. I have the log centered perfect. That's exactly right, dead in the middle of the fifth. Yeah, 7 3/8, 7 3/8, perfect. By 8. Exactly, perfect. So we're just going to cut it right straight in half, and we got all his components for his base. All right, terrific. It worked out perfect. I'll end up throwing this 4x5 up there. I mean, this 4-inch slab up here, mill it off the 4x5. I got to mark, what do I do with my crayon? I'm going to mark these in their side dimensions so he knows which 7 3/8 is the up and down, the height that it. So the beam right now, these are going to sit on the piers just the way they're sitting right here. So this is the 8-inch dimension. 8-inch sill. This is 7 3/8. This will probably be the bottom because there's no weighing on the middle cut. So that'll be the top of this plate. And then this is 7 3/8. This will be 8-inch sill. This is the top. And that's that. So now I get it all marked out. Cool. All right, got all his components for his base. Still the Stellicut band's cutting flawlessly. It's beautiful. It just cuts awesome at 10 degrees in pine. These are white pine sills instead of pitch pine. It cut through exactly where I wanted it to, right dead in the middle. There's a teeny little bit of wane there and a little bit of wane down there, but that will be the bottom of his beam. So he can put that on the bottom on the outside. You have the good side facing in. And That wane right there will be on the bottom, and the middle will be the top of both beams. So yeah, I'll give you a look at the band. As you see, I'm cutting pitchy pine here. So what I'm running on this band right now looks like it's working great. You can see how clean the band is. Looked like it did a super job keeping it clean. Even cutting pine. So I'm going to give that stuff a fair shot. There was, like I said, I was out of pine sol, so the only thing that's operating as a cleaner right now is that and some Dawn dish soap that was in that water. That's why it's blue colored still. I will get those off the mill and stacked over there next to those so they can come get them maybe even this afternoon. I'll put that back up there, and I'm going to cut that down to a 4x5, and I'll send that with them too. As you can see, I got 4x5 wall girders. That's these right here, these things here. So dimension's not super critical. The wall girts, they need 5 8-footers and 1 12-footer. So we're giving them that 12-footer right now. And then the rest will just come out of bonus material as we cut through. So I appreciate the watch. We will continue to test out the Mechanix gloves. So far, I really can't say enough good about them, to be honest with you. These gloves are great. I shudder to say right now. So typically what I wear are these Husqvarna technical gloves with this good palm. This is I get them a little tight, so I get them in medium so they fit me nice and tight. I have worn out. I can't tell you how many pairs I have sitting in my truck right now, at least 2 or 3, with some other pairs and another pair of these to test out. Not the same kind, but another pair from Mechanix to test out. But these so far have worn every bit as good as the Husqvarna ones. Those Husqvarna gloves are $40. I don't know what the price point is going to be on these, but these so far are terrific. I mean, I'd wear them every day, no problem. They are terrific. They're comfortable. They fit nice. I can pick screws up with them. I did chainsaw work yesterday on some carburetors, carburetor linkage, little dinky screws, shit like that. No problem. I've had oil and all kinds of crap all over them, and fuel and everything, mixed fuel, and usually that softens the leather to make it. You'll start to get holes in it, but so far nothing in these yet. These are great. So I'm going to keep testing them. Band cut's great. I'll keep testing this solvent, see how that works. It's like I said, it's much cheaper than the pine sol, and it comes in this big, huge monster container too. So that's kind of a home run. The Ajax, obviously, as long as it is a degreaser, which this says it is, then this should work also. You need the solvent for cutting the pine and the degreaser for cutting any oils or anything. So I'll keep testing them, and we'll see how it goes. But for now, for me and Danny and Pirate Solutions Forestry, thanks for the watch. Like, share, subscribe. Hit me up with questions. I'll answer you back, I promise. And we'll just stay at it. But for now, it's Pirate Solutions out.